I don't think you can be sexist towards men, and I don't think you can be racist towards white people.
How have you arrived at that conclusion?
That's a good question. I don't know, just hearing like all the stories about like all this messed up stuff they did in the past. Like, I'm not even black, but I have a grudge against them.
Are you referring to slavery?
Yeah, and just like the treatment of them over time since then, like all the discrimination.
Do you think that white people were the only ones who engaged in slavery?
So wait, are you trying to like say that like white people were slaves too?
Yeah, white people were also slaves.
That's where the term slave comes from, is the Slavic region.
Exactly.
That's why Eastern Europeans are so oppressed even within Europe.
I don't know, but I didn't see them oppressed over here that much. Like, I don't know. In history, I don't see books talking about the oppression of white people.
Yeah, that's
Why do you think
that's
that
a problem.
is?
You know, again, guys, man, the reason why the guy asked her, how did you arrive at that conclusion? Is because she didn't. She never did. She was told something. She believed it. She bought into it and she spread it. That's what people do. Nowadays, man, people don't come to realizations on their own. They don't. They're told something. They believe it, especially if they're told something, by a black person or a person of color that talks a certain way and acts cool and whatever. Because again, they've been bought into a cult. They bought into a culture to where they believe that, guess what? If somebody of color tells me something, then again, I have to believe it. Especially if I'm white or Asian. I have to believe it. I have to buy into what they say. No, you don't. Because again, man, people say whatever they want to say. And they want people to buy into what they're saying, what they're talking about. Even if, again, it makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, the girl, again, she believes that you can't be racist towards white folks. And you can't, which is really just hateful. Again, every race, black, being racist towards blacks, being racist towards whatever, man, you can say whatever you want. But it's all hate. So again, man, right now you can't be racist towards whites. You can't hate whites because of the color of their skin. Of course you can. You can't be hateful towards men because they're men. Well, of course you can. But see, nowadays, man, people, they buy into this bullshit.
No one is saying that by inviting black audiences here, you were uninvited.
On Broadway, there were nights where tickets were only sold to people who identified as black. Are you going to do that in the West End?
I'm so excited to, yeah.
You are?
Yeah. I mean, I think that one of the things that we have to remember is that people have to be radically invited into a space to know that they belong there. And in most of our country, in most places in the West, poor people and black people have been told that they do not belong inside of the theater. In America, Jim Crow existed to literally tell them that they could not sit in the same theater as white people. And so for me, as someone who wants and yearns for black and brown people to be in the theater, who comes from a working class environment and so wants like people who do not make, over six figures a year to feel like theater is a place for them, it is a necessity to radically invite them in with initiatives that say you're invited, specifically you.
Again, could you imagine if it was a white night? Could you imagine? Of course, again, because again, it would never happen. It would never happen. You wouldn't have a white night. We don't want dark people on the white night. And that would never be. And again, you don't have a night for any people, just for white people, black people, men, women, whatever, man. You have a night for everyone. Everyone come out. Again, this is really going backwards. And his justification is Jim Crow. Oh, it's Jim Crow. We had Jim Crow years ago. We had slavery years ago. So again, black people, they weren't invited, and we have to make sure that they know they're invited. Jim Crow ended back, let's say, 65 years ago. Again, I grew up in the South, so I want to say 60, 65 years ago. There might be some areas that was 60, 65, but it's been a long time. So again, we got to buy into this notion that we got to somehow make black people feel comfortable, because again, they think for some reason they can't attend because they're black. Are you kidding me? In today's world, I don't think so. Black people can say pretty much anything they want to say about whites, about anything else, and again, no one pushes back. That's privilege. But again, we got to believe that somehow they believe they can't come to an event because they're black. Come on. And we got to somehow give them an extra incentive to come out. No, we don't. Again, man, what we're doing, we're trying to punish people in the present because of things that happened in the past to people that are long dead, by people that are long dead. And we somehow got to make it fair now. That's not reality. That's not the way things work. And people got to grow up.
Right. And if the price of that is saying to people who are, just because they're white, you can't come, you're not allowed in this space, does that make you uncomfortable?
Well, no one's saying, listen, there are a litany of places in our country, in all of our countries, that are generally inhabited by only white people. And no one has questions about that. And no one is saying that by inviting black audiences here, you are uninvited.
What the problem is again, you're inviting black people above everyone else. Just because white people might attend a golf match, a tennis match, and again, black people might go to a rap concert more. Well, I don't know about now. Maybe a sequel. I have no idea. But they're not exclusive. People aren't getting invitations saying that guess what? We're having a white night. No black people are invited. We're having a white night. If you're white, come on out. That's not happening. So again, just because of white people, and again, we have to realize, man, he's in Europe. And again, this is the U.S. Both places, white people are the majority still. We have to recognize that. So again, more white people might go to a tennis match, but it doesn't mean it's exclusively white. Or again, they're having a white night or a white day or whatever. That's what the problem is.
Invited. The idea of a blackout night is to say, this is a night that we are specifically inviting black people to fill up the space, to feel safe with a lot of other black people in a place where they often do not feel safe.
Okay, and does it play differently? Does the theatre feel different?
100%. It feels...
In what way? Explain.
I think that, we all... Let's not act as though we do not know that culturally, black audiences and white audiences respond to things differently.
What you're saying is, what? No whites. We want black only. That's what we want. We want black. Blackity black, black, black. We want black. And again, that's what the problem is. Black. Again, we gotta have black. Again, he said, things do feel different. We all know that, again, black people need to feel safe, number one. Like they don't feel safe. We have truly got to remember, like, the majority of violent crime is caused by white people. White people are in big numbers that they're causing violent crime. No. Again, here in the U.S., less than 13% of the population causes over 50% of all violent crime in the country. So again, man, saying that first, black people, they want to feel safe. Bullshit. And then number two, saying, again, yeah, we know that the theater feels differently because we know black people, again, they react differently to the show than white folks do. So again, maybe we need to have a white night Because white folks, they react differently. They want to feel safe. They want to feel better. They want to be around their own kind. Maybe we ought to do that. Maybe we ought to go back to Jim Crow. Maybe. Black and white water fountains, black and white gas stations, black and white restaurants, everything. And again, man, that'll be just fine until a black person wants to go to the white restaurant or to the white show. Again, this entire thing is stupid. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And you know it. But again, you justify it by saying, oh, black people just want to feel safe. No, white people want to feel safe in their own country, their own countries. Again, man, right now we have a culture to where we're bending over backwards for people that don't appreciate it. I say stop. If people don't appreciate what you do, what you're trying to do, stop. Stop it. So if people want their own stuff, go ahead, have your own stuff. But again, don't be mad. Don't be upset. Don't whine and cry when somebody wants their own stuff. Again, people have got to understand you're going backwards. You don't realize what's happening. You're too stupid. You've been brainwashed. You've been absolutely brainwashed to believe that guess what? Going backwards, having separate whatever, it's the best thing. Again, trying to say that white people have white privilege, even though you can say whatever you want to say. Doesn't matter about white folks. You can say it. That's fine. But white folks have white privilege. Again, you can get hired for jobs, let in schools with lower scores because you're black and brown. But again, white people have white privilege. I don't think so. And neither do you. You know the real truth if, again, you will put your head on straight and be honest about things. If it were happening in reverse, you would throw a damn fit. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a